In this video I'm going to be giving you 8 reasons why Micro Four Thirds cameras are still the thing to buy in 2024. Roll titles. Well, hi YouTube, Brian James, a Micro Four Thirds guy with you once again, and of course, if I'm the Micro Four Thirds guy, I'm going to be giving you good reasons why Micro Four Thirds is still a really good format. But more importantly that, the reasons are valid. That's the most important thing. I could say about the advantages of other systems, but Micro Four Thirds to me has some serious advantages over other camera systems which put it into that special bit of niche in the market and still make it very, very pertinent for 2024. So let's start off with number 1, size. They're light, they're small, they're tiny. This is a little G100. It's a small camera. It's got in fact, the lens, that's a 25mm f1.8 Olympus lens on there. It's bigger than the camera. So you can get some really small cameras, some really small lenses, very lightweight, very easy to transport. Now I know there'll be some naysayers, so before you start putting in the comments, but my Canon is a bit smaller than a G9 body, or my Sony is smaller than I know there are comparisons, but overall in the range, these cameras are small, they are light, they're transportable, they're easy to use, and you'll see a little bit later that goes into other areas of the market which makes them particularly desirable. So number 1, small, lightweight, easy to transport. That's a good reason. Number 2, highly featured. If you look at almost any Micro Four Thirds camera, they've got so many fantastic features on them where you can do all sorts of things, and a lot of these were first in the market. When you look at what Lumix and Olympus, or OMDS now, OM system, if you look at what they were pioneering in their cameras, they were a few years ahead of the big guys, the Olympus, the Nikons, the Sonys and Fujis and whatever. They had a lot of these facilities on the cameras a long time before the others. One of the very first professional level of mirrorless cameras to come on the market, and the facilities that I have with high definition shots where you can actually move the sensor around to get a much higher definition shot than the standard 16 or 20 megapixel that you can get in the cameras. That makes such a big difference, and that was pioneered on Micro Four Thirds, and they are still pioneering new features today. So number 2, highly featured cameras. Number 3, IBIS. It's been pioneered on this for in-body image stabilization. In-body image stabilization gives you the ability to take really rock-solid photographs and videos without necessarily having to have stabilized lenses. Now, Olympus and now OM system were the ones who really pioneered this on here, but Lumix at first didn't. They had the stabilization of lenses. They've gone in later models to having IBIS built in, and the IBIS is incredible. We're getting up to 7 or even maybe 8 stops worth of IBIS on the camera bodies. If you start using dual IBIS systems where you're using both the image stabilization in the lens and the camera body, now these are dependent. If you have Olympus Pro lenses, they will work with a dual image with the Olympus bodies, and if you have image stabilization in Lumix, they'll work with the Lumix body image stabilization. They don't cross, so that's one thing to be careful of. But if you've got high-end image stabilized lenses and image stabilized bodies, they will work together, giving you incredible amounts of image stabilization in a very small, very compact camera. So IBIS in the cameras, absolutely outstanding for making your camera shots have a really good keep ratio. That's number 3. Number 4, a huge range of lenses. Now there are third-party lenses from Sigma. There are things like 7 Artisan, TT Artisan, who are making various lenses, some manual, some automatic, and they're available, but just from the 2 main manufacturers, Lumix and Olympus OM system. You've got a huge range of lenses from very, very wide angle all the way to super telephoto lenses. The other thing you can use on these is adapters, and use lenses from all sorts of manufacturers, mainly manual, to take some fantastic shots. So if you've got historic vintage lenses, you can still use them on your Micro Four Thirds system from only a few pounds for an adapter. So number 4, a huge range of lenses. Number five, competitive prices. If you go into almost any of the used camera sites, you'll find that the Micro Four Thirds format cameras have a huge range of stuff in stock and the prices are really, really competitive. If you want to buy new, yes, you can buy something which is incredibly expensive at the top end, pro end of the range, and the pro end stuff is really pro, but you can get some of the entry level cameras for a really, really reasonable price. And used lenses, used cameras especially, they are very, very competitive and affordable on the second hand market. So across the board, if this ambulance disappears, so across the board, buying a Micro Four Thirds camera system is a very inexpensive way to get into photography. So number 5, competitive prices. Now before I go on, keep on watching, because there is one extra bonus feature that I'm going to let you know on that. So watch the end for that one. Number 6, yes I can count, number 6. Number 6, you've got everything from beginner entry-level cameras up to the high-end pro cameras. When you consider things like the, especially in the older cameras, the used cameras, the GM ones, the GX ones from Lumix, the early APLs, they are really good cameras that a learner can use with all the automatic features on as a point-and-click camera, small enough to fit into a pocket, even with some of the lenses, the collapsible lenses like the 12 to 32mm lens that I'm using here, which collapse down really small, and they're all easily available and very inexpensive to buy. Have a look at mpb.com. They will show you some of the range that you can get on those lenses on there. Absolutely fabulous. However, using the same lenses, using the same basic structure, same basic format, you can take that all the way up to very professional level cameras when you're talking about the OM system, OM1 Mark I and OM1 Mark II, or if you're talking about the Lumix where you've got the G9 Mark II, and also if you're going into the video line where you've got the Lumix GH6 and GH7, you've got 25 megapixel sensors in those, you've got fantastic IBIS, you've got some fantastic color properties on those, as well as on the GH7 being able to upload your own LUTs and change your color balance in camera without having to necessarily take the post editing. There is all sorts that you can do in these cameras. So from the basic beginner, your first time picking a camera up and don't really know what to do, up to a professional shooter, you can use Micro Four Thirds and still have superb results at both ends. So number 6, beginner to professional level cameras straight from the box. In at number 7 comes extremely good, fantastic quality video performance. Now Lumix were the ones who were leading the field on this when they brought out the GH range, especially from the GH3 upwards, but the GH4 was something of a really turning point, all the way up to the current GH7 where you've got uploadable LUTs to put into for your video processing, and incredible features for the video side, up to 6K video straight out the camera. And these have been really leading the way for several years insofar as video quality from a small camera. Now, small mirrorless camera, you've got the advantage on those of being able to have full interchangeable lenses from any of the lenses in the Micro Four Thirds range across different manufacturers and different focal lengths and different speeds. So if you're looking for that particular style of image, if you want that particular shallow depth of field, if you want that particular long range shot, your telephoto shot, there's something for you in Micro Four Thirds straight off the shelf. And the video production that you're getting from something like the new GH7 from Lumix, or the OM1 Mark II, which is again Olympus or OM system, have really come up a lot in the last couple of years as to their video quality. You're going to get professional results. You're going to get results which are easy to use, which are easy to set up, which are easy to take your video from, and easy to get professional results which you can upload to whichever platform you want to do, or integrate them into whatever program or film you want to do. It's that good a system. So number 7, extremely good video quality. Now finally, number 8, long short lenses. What do I mean by long short lenses? Well, in comparison, if you take a Micro Four Thirds sensor in comparison to a full frame sensor, I don't like doing these equivalents very much, but it really is pertinent in this case. If you're doing that, if you were to have a 50mm lens on my Micro Four Thirds camera, it gives the effective field of view of having a 100mm telephoto lens on a full frame. But it's got the advantages of being much, much smaller and lighter. If you're going to be doing sport photography, if you're going to be doing nature photography, birds or whatever like that, that long lens can be incredibly expensive and incredibly difficult to carry around, because once you start getting the longer lenses, become awkward, become really long, and it become very awkward to carry. With the Micro Four Thirds, you are carrying a lens of half the focal length. So if you were to want to have a 400 lens on your Micro Four Thirds camera to get those really long shots, that's equivalent to putting an 800mm lens on your full frame. Huge, very, very difficult, very ungainly to carry around. The other thing with that is as well, because you've got all the features of the Micro Four Thirds, you've got some fantastic ability for recognition, for subject recognition, and they're leading the way in this at the moment, in my opinion, where you can have birds and people and animals and you know, all sorts of things, cars, motorbikes. If you're a sports photographer or if you're a nature photographer, Micro Four Thirds system really is a system to look at because of the fantastic ability to get very long lens field of views, but carrying a much smaller half focal length lens to make things easier and of course less expensive. So that's number 8, short long lenses. Well, I did say there was one bonus one, so this is number 9. Number 9. Effectively. Thanks very much for watching to the end, but this is bonus number 9, and that is about you, the Micro Four Thirds community. There is a huge community of Micro Four Thirds photographers and videographers out there who are doing all sorts of stuff, and the beauty of it is they're giving up their time and their energy to give instructions on how to use the format, how to get the best out of your cameras, the best out of your lenses, and also hints and tips about photography in general. And it's one of the best communities from a photography point of view on the internet. Have a look around the other people who are the influencers on YouTube, not my channel, but look at the ones who really know what they're on about. There are loads of people, they are so keen on giving you help and advice on Micro Four Thirds cameras, on Micro Four Thirds system, and how to maximize your photographic and your video experience from them. So that's number 9, to me, probably the biggest advantage of shooting Micro Four Thirds. Well, I've heard an awful lot recently about how Micro Four Thirds is becoming defunct, it's getting dead, how it doesn't have the advantages anymore. I totally disagree with that. I've looked into different camera systems. I've shot with full frame camera systems. I used to make a living out of shooting with full frame camera systems. I've used APS-C cameras. There are superb cameras in all of the ranges. But why I've been on Micro Four Thirds for all this time is because of the advantages I've just told you, and in 2024 I still see those advantages as being fantastic. Now admittedly, some of the advantages aren't there so much anymore. The size of other cameras, since they've gone mirrorless, has come down noticeably. The lens sizes have got a little bit more competitive, although they're still not as small as the tiny little lenses we get with Micro Four Thirds. And the quality is not necessarily any better on the two from the photographic point of view. But the advantages I've given there really do make a big difference to point towards using Micro Four Thirds in 2024 and beyond. And I really think that this is the format to stick to and to go forward with. Lesser formats don't tend to have the advantage of interchangeable lenses, although one or two do, but not many, whereas this is a fully featured system where you can interchange lenses, but also it gives you all the advantages of the bigger professional cameras in these bodies. Let me know how you feel. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. While you're in the comments below, don't forget, if you'd like to become a patron of the channel like these wonderful people are, then there is a link in the details. And while in the details, if you don't want to sign up for Patreon, although I don't know why you wouldn't, because it's brilliant, but if you don't want to sign up for Patreon, you can buy me a one-off cup of coffee just to help support the channel, and all the support really is appreciated. Anyway, till the next time I see you, this is Brian James, that Micro Four Thirds guy, saying look after yourself. I'll see you soon, and don't forget to keep on taking your Micro Four Thirds camera out in 2024 and having fun with your photography. See ya. Of the way have been Lumix with their GH range of wouldn't have been so bad if it was actually doing any speed, but it was crawling along. Oh, this on a full frame camera. F***ing motorbikes.